What's going on, guys? Paul here and welcome back to another Cardano video. Today is a very quick live stream. I went to do a video and realized that I didn't have enough time to get it done and get it out, so this one is going to be fairly quick. And just to take a quick look back at the Cardano 360 event from yesterday, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me, so let me know in the comments down below if you can hear me, and we will kick it off then. So I'm just going to go through some of the 360 stuff, take a look at the charts at how we are moving. Today is moving fairly well, better than expected, to be honest.
Paul here and welcome back.
Okay, I think you guys can hear me, just checking on my own side. Okay, so currently let's bring up the chart in front of me. Okay, let's see how we go. So currently Cardano sits in 4th place. Tether is back into 3rd place today with now up over 40 billion on the market cap. So again, doesn't really count. Tether doesn't really count. Let's take a look first back at the Cardano 360 event, and then I'll go over 2 questions and see how we are going then. So looking back, this is something that I didn't mention in my video yesterday. So I did put together a video yesterday, a fairly quick one, just to give you guys the dates. Again, if something like that is useful, putting out quicker videos like that is just based around one topic, let me know, and I will try and get more of them out as well. So Gregory here, the reason that I'm showing this is because I didn't mention it yesterday, and some people might have missed what this actually means in the bigger picture. So he's working on runtime verification, and what this is doing is they're working on a platform in the background that will allow developers to write smart contracts in any language on Cardano. So anyone who's familiar with Ethereum, when you are writing smart contracts on Ethereum, you need to write them in Solidity, which is the language that was created for Cardano or for Ethereum smart contracts. So developers who don't know it, they have to go out and learn a new language. So what this is going to do with runtime verification, what they're building is going to take out so many barriers to entry for developers that are already out there, really good developers. They will be able to write the contracts in languages they already know and then run them through this platform that will be able to run their smart contracts on Cardano. So this isn't going to, from the event yesterday, this won't go live straight away as soon as smart contracts come out. They were talking about 6 months time before people will be able to write contracts in basically any language out there. I'm not going to say every single language, but they will be building up the libraries and everything like that in the background to make it, to add more and more languages all the time. So what this is going to do is it's just going to bring so much more adoption. It's going to make it so much easier for people who are out there already, for tech people out there, to come in and build applications on top of Cardano. So this to me is something that can really bring a lot of adoption. So something else that I did mention yesterday was this here, which is basically a clone of Uniswap. So lots of us that have been in Cardano or in crypto for a while are familiar with Uniswap and DEXs in general. So seeing applications like this built on top of Cardano is going to be a huge step, because I think when we get to the stage where we have the adoption, we have lots of tokens and everything out there, people need easy ways to exchange them. And to see how easily they were able to build this on top of Plutus is extremely exciting to see what is going to be possible out there for Cardano. So again, we'll see more of this as the next few months go on. So I suppose bringing up the timeline here. So this is what I showed yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about it. So just make sure that you guys can see this properly as well. So yeah. With the timeline, basically it's looking like the end of July into August when we will have smart contracts on the mainnet. So it doesn't mean the developers have to wait until then to start writing them or to start getting ready. For the rest of March and into April, they are getting everything ready on the node side and putting the code into the ledger so they can have their testnet. Once the testnet goes live, the end of April, early May, that's when developers can start using it and start actually writing the smart contracts. And whatever they write throughout May, throughout June, whatever contracts they write at that stage can go live on the mainnet. The day that we get smart contracts on the mainnet, that's when they can actually put them applications live. So what that means is that there could be a huge amount of applications ready to go from day one. And look, this is going to be needed for the long term, because it's great to see all these price spikes in the short term and everything like that. But in the long term, those of us here for the long game, we need adoption for Cardano. That is what is going to give us the sustained price and the sustained rise over time. So I do see, I'll talk about price and the rises that I see coming in a minute. But again, just on this, as soon as I get any information on projects that are building smart contracts, I'm going to be out there actively looking for projects that are building on this, see what they're doing, try and get a look into the testnet as well, and maybe bring some of the examples of the smart contracts that are there and bring them on here and show some of the videos of it. Again, Liquid is a project that I need to follow up with and get them on again, because when this goes live, they will be able to build their smart contracts and they will have a lot better insight into all of this then to see what's going on. So what's going on in the chat? I see we have 328 people with us. Thanks for tuning in for a very last minute live stream. So anyone who missed, I was going to do a video but just didn't have the time to get it edited and everything like that. So I'll go through the chat in a minute. We will bring up the price here. So let's look at the shorter term one just for a minute. Currently, this is what we're looking at. So in general, let's take a look. In general, the crypto market is not doing too badly today. So we see lots of coins are coming up. Cardano had a really big spike this morning. It was the first early performer of the day, I would say, in terms of gains. We see some coins starting to catch up now, but Cardano is up there with some of the best gains today. If we look at the chart, you can see we got a huge pump this morning, and this was really great to see, because I did think yesterday after the live stream, started to see some of the comments out there that it was like, oh, we're not getting smart contracts in Q2 and it's all bad and Ethereum's going to launch. And to see that the belief that's here and that we didn't get the pullbacks that potentially we could have got. There's a lot of positivity out there. So people are looking at all the positive stuff that is coming for Cardano and they're starting to buy into it here already. I don't think we're going to start the big run up for the Alonso hard fork just yet. I think we need to get closer to the launch time before we will start to see the real run up in price. But the fact that we didn't see the pullbacks already is very, very good to see. It's very positive to see the sentiment that's out there. The overall sentiment, I would say 98-99% of the comments that I got back were all positive, all happy to see that we are getting smart contracts. Yes, it's a few weeks later than the Q2 that we thought we would have it, but when you look at the time frame, the code should be frozen. If we look at it here, code freeze is going to be the end of June. That means that it's all completely done. Everything's locked in place then. And the wait time between that and it launching is down to all of the exchanges upgrading their nodes, the stake pool operators like myself getting our nodes and everything updated and having everything ready to go when smart contracts goes on to the mainnet. So again, we will have hard dates when we get closer to the time. And again, once I have that, I will put it out here as well. So looking at the price, to be honest, I didn't get into any trades today. I wasn't sure where the market was going. And anyone who tells you it's definitely going in a certain direction over the next few days, then I would be very cautious of that. Obviously, I'm hopeful that we're going to the upside, and when you look at it here, we are still staying in this uptrend, and yes, we dipped down below it, but overall, we are staying in it here. So if I was looking at this just from the technical side, I would be looking at a run up towards this all-time high over the next few days and week. But with everything that's going on fundamentally in the project and in the overall crypto market being a little bit uncertain at the minute, I wouldn't be guaranteed of these runs up. So again, if people are FOMOing in right now, I think long term, you should be okay. Again, not a financial advisor. For me personally, let me see. I think I lost camera. Should be back up there now. Yep. So look, I think long term, any of these prices that we're looking at here are going to be fine for getting in at. There's people are waiting to get back in well under $1. Is it possible for us to go under $1 before we start the main run up? It's possible, but I would say very unlikely right now. I think that holding above $1, the fact that we didn't go down there on the announcements yesterday is very good. So I don't think we will see under $1. Again, there's nothing. Hold on, I just want to check. My camera seems to be in and out here. I think you guys should be able to. Can you let me know in the comments if the camera is still working? I can turn it off anyway. You guys don't need to see me. Okay, should be working, but if it stops, let me know. So look, in the short term, price is uncertain. I would say when we go into the bigger picture, looking over here, so you can see I have the dates. Shelly launch was back here. So when we had the Shelly launch, this here looked like a really big pump in the price. So we got 240%. But then when you start zoom back out, which you always need to do in the bigger picture, that was not a lot at all. We got this huge run up for the Merry hard fork. And then we got our sell off, we got our pullback, went back up again when we had the Coinbase announcement. So look, dates and announcements in a project can always push the price up, and when you're leading up to them, you will get the buy the rumor, sell the news. So when something happens, you get the sells that when it actually comes out, then people start to sell off in the market. But for Alonso, yes, we will have a huge run up to it. Personally, that's what I see. I think we will definitely go past these all-time highs. The main run-up probably won't start until into the maybe into June timeframe. Again, could be wrong on that. For me, I'm not willing to sell at these levels to buy back lower. I know that's going to be popular. Should we sell now and wait and try and get a bigger bag lower down? For some people, that's going to be a strategy they want to do. For me, it's just not worth the stress levels on that. I think I'm happy to hold it even if we go down. If we go down, I'll pick up more. And I'm happy to hold it because of where I see it going long term. So when we come into the Alonso hard fork, we'll have the run up to it. But how big the pullback after the Alonso hard fork is going to depend on how many applications are ready to go on the blockchain when we actually have that launch. So there's going to be a big incentive for projects to get out there to be some of the first to launch on Cardano. So we look at Polkadot and we look at all the applications that have launched on it, all of the new projects that have came over the last few months, and they all do incredibly well because they're all in there early, they're launching on the platform early, there's a lot of interest there. I think we will see similar on Cardano. So there's going to be a huge interest in getting out there. There's going to be a lot of hype around the launch. Smart contracts are ready. So during the test net, I think we will see a lot of developers building their applications and getting ready and trying to rush out to be out there to be one of the early adopters of the Cardano blockchain. And then what that is going to do is, so there's a lot of people in Cardano will be looking to see what are the first applications that are coming out there. And there'll be lots of us out there that are looking to actually buy into some of the projects that are developing on the blockchain in the early days in anticipation of where them projects can go. And then you also have the companies and the projects that are out there on the outside looking in to see how the first projects go. And if they're going well, that's going to bring more and more adoption. It's going to bring more projects over to the Cardano blockchain, which again is the snowball effect. And for those of us watching the price, all of this should help stabilize any pullbacks on the Alonso fork and then start to really push us back up again. So I'm not going to put numbers on where I think this is going to go on the Alonso fork. I'm going to look at this over the next few weeks, see how we stabilize for now, see where we go. Because as I say, short term, nobody knows where this is actually going to go in the next few weeks. We're still a fair bit out from the actual launch, but anticipation is going to build. And as different leaks come out, as I hopefully am able to bring on developers here to show what they are building on it and how they are finding the actual process of building, how they're finding the ease of use of it in the testnet, I think that's going to help give people an idea of what is possibly going to happen. So let's have a look at the comments, see what I have been missing here. So I see we are up to 500 people on the stream now. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. And we have 115 likes. Let's see, can we get that a bit closer to the number of people we have? So what do we have here in the comments? $10 this summer, $2 tomorrow, 100%. Don't see $2 tomorrow. $2 by Alonso is definitely a possibility. $10 for 2021. I don't see it in 2021. That's too high for where we are right now. Happy to be proven wrong on that. Brian, in this for 5 to 8 years, will not sell. Yeah, for me, the main bag of Cardano that I have staking is in this for the long term. As the price goes up, then I will start to look at selling off some of the rewards to start paying daily bills and stuff like that. But again, I will have a video coming up on that fairly soon about my own personal thoughts on an exit strategy, and that's not... Currently, my exit strategy does not include selling my staking bag of ADA. So again, I'll go into more detail on that when I put the video out there, because I get asked that a lot. Put a deposit on a Lambo. Bought 600 ADA. Should I upgrade the leather? Maybe hold off on the leather just yet. $3 more realistic for this year. It's not out of the question, but again, it's going to depend on the adoption that we get when Alonso comes out, because adoption is what is really going to give us long term. Buy target around $1.08. Will we see that? It's possible, I would say. I wouldn't rule out seeing $1.08 or even coming down to test that dollar mark, that $1.02 again. It's not out of the question. Wait for the big money coming in. Big money coming in is definitely possible once we get Alonso and prove what the smart contracts can actually do. And as I was showing with Gregory there and putting in... Camera keeps kicking in and out here today. Doesn't matter anyhow. But as I was showing about, being able to build the contracts in multiple languages will bring in a lot more. $1 million ADA in 10 minutes. Sounds good. We'll stay online for that, will we? Where do I live? I'm in Ireland. Yeah, let's knock 150 as the major resistance first, and that's definitely what I think here. Look, we've tested the high here twice. I'll zoom in on this. So we've tested this high twice. We hit it here when we set it, and then we tested again on Coinbase, and we've come back down. So again, we will see some big resistance at that 150 point when we go up to it again and try and get over it. Market cap too big. I don't know what you mean by market cap too big. If you mean the supply, really the supply doesn't matter on a coin. It matters for the overall price that a coin can reach, but it doesn't matter in terms of the gains that you can get on a coin when you buy into it. So if there's a smaller market cap, it means that the price, it can be higher, but it doesn't mean that the project is any more valuable or a better project than the likes of Cardano, which has a smaller price and a higher market cap. £2 this year, I can't even think right now what £2 is. Even though I'm Euro myself, I am stuck in USD prices generally, but that probably falls in the $2 to $3 range, which is $3 is getting fairly high for my own thoughts and my own aims for this year, but 2 is definitely the possibility. What else am I missing here? Orderlies here from the future. Cardano charts will have a bunch of green sticks and a bunch of red ones. Thanks very much, Orderly. And yeah, that's what I'm saying about anyone telling you where the price is going to go, especially over the short term right now in the next few days, then it's very, very unpredictable. I'm personally not trading it in the next few days. I'm just sitting back and watching it because, again, there could be a lot of volatility and I'm not interested in that stress right now. I'll come back into it next week, see where we settle when all of the news has really settled down and see where things are and get back into trading then. Where's my comments gone? So holding till 2025. Thinking that it was going to pump more with the Coinbase. Yeah, I thought we would get Coinbase itself pumped because there was more buyers on Coinbase than sellers. It pumped on that, but the overall market didn't pump. What do we... Buy 10 million in the past. When did I start buying Cardano? I have found my earlier orders of March 2018. I still think I have orders back from late 2017, but I had a lot of different exchange accounts then, and I was buying lots of different tokens back then. For me, where I bought the bulk of my Cardano was throughout 2019 and into 2020, early last year as well. Even as the price was going up last year, I was still buying and topping up part of my bag as well. And every payday, every 5 days with Cardano, the bag gets a little bit bigger today. And today is payday for anyone staking their Cardano. Where else are we? Holding till 2037. It is a pump and dump coin. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Where else are we? Cardano will see big investors joining over the next 3 months. 100% Cardano, zero diversification. Look, a lot of people ask me that as well, is should they just have Cardano in their portfolio or should they have multiple coins? I still think that everyone should have some Bitcoin in their portfolio. The percentages that you go are completely down to yourselves. And again, risk profiles come into play here. So everyone needs to look at their own risk profile and what they believe. Obviously, I really believe in Cardano and where it's going. Cardano and Bitcoin are the biggest in my own personal portfolio. How are Paul pools doing? Both pools are having a good epoch. The first pool should be around 100% luck, which is in around that 5%, just over 5%. Pool 2 is higher than that this epoch. So the last two for pool 1 have been really good, way above average returns. This one should be in around the average return. Pool 2 is above average for this. But again, generally all pools will average out over the long term. So not just my own, most pools that are producing blocks will average out to that 5.5% over the long term. Do I recommend any other altcoins? I'm going to get back to looking at other coins and stuff like that next week on the other channel and try and get a few videos out on that. But again, I generally stay with the high cap coins. So for me, outside of Bitcoin and Cardano, I hold some Ethereum, I hold some Polkadot, I hold some BNB. So you start to see a theme there that smart contracts play a big part in my own portfolio. The BNB was more for trading fees and stuff like that. You get cheaper fees by holding it. Outside that, I do have some other smaller coins, but I need to look at the portfolio. Again, anything outside of Bitcoin and Cardano is not a huge part of the portfolio. Planning for a Lambo? No, I am not planning for a Lambo. My car is still a 10-year-old car at the minute. For me, my priorities are, I'm looking at the crypto markets right now as life-changing. And for me, buying big assets right now is not something that I want to do. For me, I would rather buy Cardano and buy assets that I think will appreciate rather than depreciate. Thinking of pump my Cardano tat if it gets to 198, lower back. If you get it, make sure you send me a picture so I can show it in some of the live streams or videos here. Harmony and VeChain, both good coins, I think. I don't hold either of them right now, but both fairly decent coins right now. VeChain has a really good use case. Harmony, I haven't looked into it enough, but I know people that I trust talk about it a lot. XRP isn't one that I personally hold and don't plan to hold, even if the lawsuit wins and everything like that. It's just not one that personally interests me for the long term. Polkadot or ADA, you hold both. I hold both, but I hold a lot more ADA than I do Polkadot. For me, I am betting on Cardano being one of the biggest out there. But again, Polkadot is a really good project as well, and I do still hold some of that as well. I don't think there's one, I've said this in lots of videos, I don't think there's one blockchain that's going to win. There's no Ethereum killer. There is going to be a huge market space out there in the long run for Ethereum, for Polkadot, for Cardano, and they will all find their own share of that. When do I think crypto winter will start? I don't think we're there yet. I think we have a while to go before we hit any crypto winter. I think the cycles are also changing. I don't think that For, again, why I stick with more of the high cap coins is I don't think high cap coins will be hit as hard when we hit the next bear market. We're in a lot different market now than we were the last time. There's a lot more bigger investors involved this time. So I will put together a video on that at some stage on my thoughts on it. Where are we? We still have 700 people here. We have 238 likes. Let's see, can we bring that up a bit? Anyone who hasn't hit it yet, or if you're new and you haven't hit subscribe, please do so as well. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes and then I'm going to have to run. What will happen when coins switch to Cardano? Will it be seamless? To be honest, I haven't looked into the process yet of how that's all going to work. Again, once I get information on it or see how that process is going to work, I will put together a video on it and bring it out. Maybe I'll get someone who is more of an expert in that field and bring them on as well. Coco later with a £2 super chat. Thank you very much. Fancy a Guinness? Let's crack a can. Yeah, a can of Guinness just isn't as good as going into a pub and getting one. And it looks like it's still going to be another few months before we can do that in Ireland. But hopefully at some stage we can do some sort of a meetup within Ireland. By the end of the year, maybe we can get together like that. Ethereum is the Ethereum killer. Yeah, right now Ethereum is the only Ethereum killer. They're killing their own platform right now with what is going on. But I think that when we see adoption of other blockchains, that's going to help Ethereum. And that's why I say Ethereum will never die. Ethereum is going to have its space. So will Cardano. It doesn't have to, one doesn't have to kill the other. And there's maximalism on both sides. And it's not good for cryptocurrency in general, because when you have people from the outside looking in and all they see is fighting between Ethereum is going to die because of this, and then Ethereum shouting back that Cardano is dying because of this, it's just not a good picture for cryptocurrency in general. So I always stay out of that type of stuff because it just doesn't interest me going down fighting like that. Pub opens at 12 for lunch. Unfortunately, not in Ireland. We don't have the pubs opening. So Light Power says it might be a wrapper like wrapped BTC. Once again, my camera's kicking in and out. I'm not sure how the process is going to work. I know for projects that move over fully, then they will convert their coins over to native assets on Cardano. But for ones that are running on multiple chains, like we see with Ethereum now, we see some coins running on Binance chain. They convert some of their coins over to Binance chain, so they're basically locked up and there's coins created on the Binance chain for them. Maybe we see something like that, but to be honest, I haven't looked into it yet. So what else have I got here? Benny says his brother is in Dublin. I've been surprised with the amount of Irish people that we have within cryptocurrency and within Cardano since I started this channel. It's great to see. The Suez channel equals price increases. Yeah, it's kind of crazy what's going on over there right now, that they still haven't been able to clear that up. I don't know what kind of an impact it's going to have on the markets right now in terms of crypto right now, but potentially if it goes on much longer, it is going to. Is crypto big in Ireland? I think it doesn't have the best reputation. Like a lot of countries, the main media, what's put out in the media is all of the bad stuff. So it's all of, like, if there's ever anything to do with drugs or if there's ever anything like that, anything bad, that's what gets highlighted. So the general population sees that. They don't see what cryptocurrency can actually do on the good side. So I think that will change over time as things go on. Exodus 7% staking. I did touch on that. There's a video on my channel going through that. Basically, they're not offering 7%. It is in around that 5%. But I do go through that in the video if you want to check that out. Suggestion on exchanging ADA for 1 BTC. So you mean selling your ADA for a Bitcoin? You can do it on any exchange. And again, the price you do it at depends on your belief in Cardano and where you think it's going. So we've Dublin, we have Wicklow in the comments. No taxes in Portugal if you don't actively trade. Yeah, Portugal is definitely something that keeps coming up again and again. Slaunchip Paul, thanks for your insights. New to the crypto space. Welcome. Yeah, Cardano is definitely one of the better communities out there and a really positive community overall. And I would say they're kind of battle hardened because when you're in the Cardano community, you take a lot of abuse from the outside of, look, Cardano still doesn't have this and still doesn't have that. And it's easy on the outside for people looking in to pick holes on what Cardano doesn't have. But let's see where everything sits at the end of the year. That's all I will say. Yeah, Exodus says 7.05%, but it's not if you look at your rewards. Michael says, no one knows, but are we going to hold 115? I wouldn't bet on holding 115. It's possible that we hold it, but as I said earlier in the video, I'm currently not actively trading because the next day or so I think is going to be a bit unpredictable in the market. I would say more unpredictable than normal. Markets are never fully predictable, but for me, I'm staying out of the markets for the weekend and I'll see where they are on Monday and judge them what I want to do. This is the chart that I forgot to bring up in the last video. So this is a Cardano versus Ethereum. So you can see in the past, we struggled on this level here once, twice, a third time. This is a 3-day chart. So when we finally got through it and we got our big run up for the Mary hard fork, when we got our pullback here, it's very interesting to see where we got the bounce against Ethereum. So if you're into looking at charts, keep an eye on this chart as well. ADA versus the Ethereum pair and see where it goes over the next while. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. After hitting the lows, this is a 4-hour chart. So after hitting the lows yesterday, still on a bit of a bounce. So again, not currently in any active trades. I will see how that goes over the weekend and judge on Monday then. So look guys, I am going to close out the stream there. Thanks very much to everyone that tuned in. If you haven't hit like yet or subscribed, then please do give the video a like. I see people asking about Catalyst voting. There is a new website set up for ADA Pulse, which digs into all of the different projects. So again, set up by the community. You guys can check that out. Currently, I think Uroi voting. So for people who wanted to vote with Uroi, there was an issue. And I think that voting could have started now. I will check that up as well. And that is, look, I'm going to call it there, guys. Thanks very much to everyone that tuned in. If you got value, you want to see more of these, do hit subscribe and give the video a like so it helps get it out there in the YouTube algorithm. Have a great weekend, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.